is Erica. I am your Ag in the Classroom pen pal. This little guy, his name is Bob. He's a bottle calf. He was born on April 6th. He is a bottle calf because his mom could not take care of both him and his sister. And sometimes when a bottle calf happens because the mom can't take care of it, or something happens to the mom where we just need to take over. We feed them milk till they're about 4 months old, and then we try to switch them over to hard feed. And then from there we either use them for reproduction or we send them to the market. But unfortunately with twins though, when they are a guy-girl twin, neither one is very good, so we just send them all to market. What?
Go ahead.
Alright, this is my little herd of sheep. We have 4 babies and 4 mamas. Each sheep generally has 2. For starters, this is Babs. Babs has decided she's very interested in the camera. I believe the one over here, that one is Buttons. And they all have names. This one is Lois. And here we are with Buttons. And this far one over here, this one is Bose. We generally share them about this time, so within the next week or so, I will be shearing off their wool, which means I will be giving them a haircut. All that will be gone. We generally feed them some mineral, some hay. Hello, Buttons. Hello, oh, hello. As they're fogging up the camera. The babies got their tails docked at a week old, and they got all of their vaccines. And then that's our sheep. So these guys are our fat babies. These 2 boys are almost ready to go to market to get butchered. They will also become hamburger and steak, or whatever we decide for our purposes. These 2 are currently injured, and so they will also be staying with us for a time being until they are healed. So that should be okay. These guys are our bulls. We have Sir Isaac, who is now eating corn at the current time. Hello, Sir Isaac. We have Max. They all have their individual name tags and a number, just so we know who exactly they are. And then we have Bruno. Bruno is our bull that will be going to a different home here to be used for breeding other calves outside of our family. But essentially all these guys are used for is breeding purposes, so that way we can have more babies. We've got this guy who broke his hip, and 81 is the one who broke his foot. And so they are currently in physical therapy in order to get better. They will never be able to fully rejoin the herd just because of that, and they will eventually end up in the market for steaks or ground beef or whatever the meat market decides to do. This little guy is Zeke. Well, he's not very little, but he's our big barn cat. He's the only one on our farm at the moment. He has chosenly decided where he would like to reside, and that is the barn. And he is our cat. This is my mother, by the way.
Hi, guys.
So, he's a good lover boy.
He's 6 years old.
Yep.
can see, look at that face, guys.
These guys right here are called Jax and Janny. They are miniature donkeys. They are mainly here because we want them to be. They don't really have a purpose on our farm. It's said that some donkeys are used for breaking cattle, which means that they are halter broke. When they halter broke is when they have a rope on their face. That doesn't ever hurt them. But breaking means that they can walk on a halter easily. And so these are our babies. This is our ground. You'll see that big white bag. That has a lot of feed in it for your cattle for the winter. We haven't broke into it yet because we have all this other stuff like hay and haylage. I don't see any haylage. I think we used all that up now. So under this bag, it is called silage. I was talking earlier about silage as a food source for what we do, or for what we feed our cattle during the winter. And silage is corn that is chopped up into little bitty pieces, put under this tarp, and cooked all summer, or all fall long. We start in August, and by the time December or November comes, by the time we start feeding out rations, we are able to feed it. That good boy, his name is Sammy. That is our dog. He is a Great Pyrenees, and he is a lover boy, aren't ya? But we use silage. Hello, I know. But yeah, we mainly use silage for feeding purposes. We ration out each ingredient. Just as you need portions for your meals, we do portions for our cattle's meals so they don't get too fat. This stuff right here is called ground hay. It is hay that has been chopped up into little bitty pieces so we can mix it with that, with the silage. This is what it looks like. This is a planter. This is what we use to plant our corn, soybeans, wheat, whatever we so choose. Here's what it looks like attached to a tractor. And yes, I do get to drive it sometimes, but not always. I mainly get to help put things together for it. This piece of machinery is called a field finisher. It is the piece of equipment that we use when we are getting fields ready to be planted. First you disc it, and then you use this on it to help smooth out some of the bumps and crevices that are too big for the planter to handle. This blue tractor right here, that is our bidirectional, which means it can go in any direction. It swivels at the joint, and we use this as our everyday chore tractor, and it's pretty much used for everything around here. So that is our everyday tractor. Every farmer has an everyday tractor. This is our sprayer. Our sprayer is used to put chemicals and like herbicides, insecticides, fertilizer onto our fields. This helps the plants grow a little bit healthier. The most essential things plants need are soil, sunlight, and water. And this just helps add a little bit of extra nutrients, kind of like vegetables and fruits do to you. This is our cornfield. We do 3 main crops for market, and that is wheat, corn, and soybeans. As you can see, their corn is starting to sprout, and so it should start taking off here in a little bit since we've had a lot of sunshine and a lot of rain. The other crop we do is alfalfa. That is for our cattle. That is not a good angle. The alfalfa that we produce is mainly used for our cattle. We don't really sell it to anybody else. I mean, unless we're asked, then we can work something out. But yeah, those are the main things that we do for crop-wise. A little bit better view of what the alfalfa actually looks like. I know into the sun it didn't really produce a very good picture, but this is alfalfa in the beginning stages. It won't be ready till about June or July for the first cut. We usually can get about 3 cuts of alfalfa in a year, which means that we can cut it down, let it dry, and then bale it up, and then it will be ready for winter whenever we need it. So this is wheat. This green stuff that looks like grass is all wheat. I know it doesn't look like it right now because you're probably used to seeing the final product, but this is what the early stages of wheat look like. This is our pasture. We use this all through the summer because this is full of good food, nutrients, and everything that they need in order to survive. Plus, they have lots of room to roam and run and play. It's a great place for all babies to grow up and have fun. This is our herd, well, some of it. We split our herd up into 4 pastures. We have the main pasture, which is also called the big pasture, which is where we are right now. We have the east pasture, which is on the far, on the east side of the road from this one. We have the north pasture, which is on the north side of this side, that separates to this side. And then we have our geriatric pasture, which is where we put all of our sick animals or animals who are too old that they can't roam the big pastures anymore, but they still got a lot of life left in them, so they get to go chill at the geriatric pasture. Oh, we also have one pasture which is called, which is over at my uncle's. We put our heifers over there. Heifers are a female cow that has not calved yet, and so that's where they go until they calve, or until they're ready to be bred to be calved, I should say. So these are my girls. Here's a closer view of our babies. I love our cows. They are by far my favorite animal in this whole world. And they're just chilling here at the creek. Not much happening in their world. More pictures of our girls. We've got good pictures of our girls. Oh, you must be Wheezy. This little guy has a little bit of a problem. He has a respiratory problem. But he seems to be doing well enough on his own, so he gets to stay out here. He's just gonna have a little bit of a wheeze the rest of his life. If you look at our cattle, you'll see that these are numbers, these white numbers on their hindquarters. This is what we call freeze branding. Freeze branding is when we take an iron, dip it in liquid nitrogen, essentially, and then we freeze brand a number onto their hide, so that way if their tag in their ears goes missing, we still know who they are, and we don't lose all the records that we have on them with their history. History is very important, especially with our cows. We definitely try to keep an accurate record on everybody. Amy's a good girl. We love feeding range cubes, don't we? Range cubes is a must, otherwise you get in a lot of trouble. These are like Oreos to them. So, but these are the good girls. This is all we've got. Well, most of them. Some of them are in a different place, but that's okay. Not everyone. One thing I was going to mention was that when we take care of our pastures, we have to make sure that they are healthy enough, since it is a living organism, that it can sustain our cows. The reason that we split up our cattle is because it is healthier for the grass, and we do a rotation that allows the grass to replenish itself so it doesn't get run down and it just turns into dirt. Well, thanks for taking the tour with me, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. Have a good summer.